What's up, guys? Today's Friday Flow is a special one. It's actually a gift to you from me as a thank you for listening to over 100 episodes and being with me since the start of the podcast. It's a professional recording of my book, Nowhere to Go, in the essay Deeper Than the Surface, because the audio version is about to release in about 45 days or so, depending on how long it takes to get uploaded. And this essay is all about finding your purpose. Because for the longest time in my life, I ran from the truth of who I was, not knowing that finding your purpose requires you to dig deeper than what you've been taught to believe. And through it all, you're going to face fear, doubt, perfectionism, self-destructive patterns, and all the things. But when you continue to dig and do the work, you'll find something far more significant than you could have ever imagined. And if you haven't noticed, I quit coaching to really step into copywriting, and a lot of cool things are happening. I'm actually traveling next week to do some writing for others, and I'm writing book number 2, which is hopefully coming out in 2023. And I got a poetry book coming out this year that is in the editing process right now. It's a lot of cool shit happening, and I'm just extremely grateful for you listening and all the support that you've given to me over the last few years. And I know we're all facing some tough times right now, a lot of uncertainty in the world. And as my gift to you, I'm going to share with you a lot of the audiobook, because that's what I wrote it for, to help others in tough times. Without further ado, let's get into the intro and then deeper to the surface.
Life is not linear. It's a magnificent dance that invites us to be more than we can imagine. But that doesn't mean growing is easy. I'm George Calancis, and welcome to Tough Transitions. In this podcast, I'll share stories from my own life and the stories of others so you can fully accept yourself and rewrite the way you see the world, to stop holding yourself back from your best self and your extreme power. This is your path. Your life is unfolding exactly the way it was intended. Learn how to connect your heart, listen to your voice, and free yourself from limitations and expectations so you can claim your true, unlimited potential.
Searching for our purpose in life is one of the most demanding challenges we face as humans. Landing a dream job to make more money, saving the money we make for retirement, finding a healthy and stable relationship to start a family. The pressure we put on ourselves to find meaning in life leads to more uncertainty and overwhelm as our self-worth becomes attached to the achievements measured in life milestones. From the age of 18 to 35, I focused on hard work and having a stable life plan. From an outsider's perspective, my life had structure and purpose. I hit every major milestone I planned for at a young age. That's how life works, right? Work hard, achieve your goals, and you have a purpose. But life is so fleeting when you are never honest with yourself. One of the hardest lessons I learned in life came from my mentor telling me an uncomfortable truth I wasn't ready to hear. Your life didn't change unexpectedly because of the divorce. It changed because you never trusted yourself. He was right. I came to the sobering realization that if I never trusted myself, why would the universe or anyone else for the matter? I measured happiness, love, and success by my accomplishments. When life went well, my days were filled with passion and purpose. But when life didn't go according to plan, the achievements I based my self-worth on were gone, and I fell into despair. I created a life around proving my self-worth externally and paid a huge price at my most vulnerable moment. I never shared this with anyone because I never felt good enough. I avoided my truth so adamantly that I chose addiction, depression, and heartbreak instead of facing it. And then, when my marriage was coming to an end, my lies caught up to me, and I was forced to really look at who I was and how I was impacting the people around me. It's a common experience. We all want to believe we control our lives, yet we ignore what we feel inside. We walk through most of our lives wearing an identity shaped by our family, friends, and environment. There's an implicit code that governs how we should live our lives, and it's one that often leaves us empty and lost. The truth of it all is you can't find meaning in life if you aren't honest with yourself. Perhaps our purpose in life is a lot deeper than the surface level shit we've been taught to believe. Viktor Frankl said, ultimately, a man should not ask what the meaning of his life is, but rather must recognize that it is he who is asked. I think what he means is that we find meaning in life by simply living it. Our purpose in life is not defined by what we do, it's who we are, how we feel, and an expression of how we live our lives at this very moment. We can go through life achieving these massive milestones and performing grand gestures, but personally, I don't think any of that matters if it doesn't reflect what we're feeling inside. So how do you find your meaning in life? How do you know if what you're doing is making a difference? Unfortunately, there's no easy answer. Our lives are uniquely ours, so our answers will be too. But I can tell you what I've learned. You are more capable than you believe yourself to be. A lifetime of running has taught me that you're going to need patience, as much of it as you can find. The process of finding your true self takes time and thoughtful reflection. When you find something you enjoy that challenges you to step outside your comfort zone, it's a good sign you're on to something deeper below the surface. The question then becomes, do you have enough perseverance to figure out your passion? Angela Duckworth, researcher and New York Times bestselling author, calls this grit. It's the internal energy needed to push past your comfort zone when life presents you with challenges and to follow through when everything is pulling you back. Finding your purpose requires you to dig deeper than the surface, and it's a lot deeper than you've been taught to believe. Shame, fear, doubt, perfectionism, and self-destructive patterns are just a few of the obstacles you'll face as you begin your journey. While painful, if you continue to dig and work through the calling with consistent effort, you'll find something far more significant than you could have ever imagined. I can understand wanting to run away from setbacks, failures, and the limiting beliefs that pull you back when you find something that calls you. I refused to work through these issues most of my life, and it took me a long time to figure out why. I wasn't digging deep enough. I was willing to work hard, but I wasn't willing to do the real, deep work. Because I stopped too soon, I carved a path for myself that felt wrong. I felt lost, and rather than do any more digging for myself, I turned to addictions, depression, and divorce. Most people I knew told me to move on in life. They told me I should use my MBA to get a salary job and stop playing around. Grow up, but I knew I was heading for something greater and didn't let their opinions influence what I was building. Thankfully, I met some amazing humans along my journey who showed me what I had to say was worth digging deeper. Every day, I was called to write when I woke up. I didn't have to think about the end result or what I was even doing. These words took me where I needed to go. What started as a therapeutic tool became what you are reading today. My life bled out on the empty pages all over my walls as I drew outlines, verses, and words of wisdom on large Post-it notes. Tears seeped on the pages of my journals, and it didn't happen overnight. If you talk to anyone who has built something significant in their life, you'll see the similarities within anything worth pursuing. Most of us never get to this point. We finance our dreams with pocket change. We exist on the surface and look for something or someone to save us. The energy we need to invest in the things that matter get lost in the pursuit of happiness. Conversation here, a text message there, scrolling on social media, and engaging in relationships that save us from navigating the challenges that come with taking time to connect more deeply with ourselves. They all take away from who we are underneath it all. Purpose doesn't just show up when you make default choices that don't make sense for you. No amount of money or hard work can force you to align with the purpose you feel pulled in your heart if you're on the wrong path. You have to learn how to find meaning in the storms of life. You have to get curious about who you are underneath everything you have covered up. The more you know who you are underneath the mask you've been conditioned to wear, the more you'll be able to navigate tough transitions. The more you have something you're willing to fight for, the more you can live an authentic life. These are my revelations. The purpose isn't to brag, boast, or to say that I'm better. I, like you, have made countless mistakes that I've repeated throughout my life. When I decided to go all in on writing about my life experiences, the discipline and leadership skills I gained from my life turned into something greater than myself. What did I learn from these experiences? There are so many layers beneath our superficial selves. If you never take time to slow down and accept who you are, you'll miss out on all the opportunities in front of you. Much of our lives are about the chase. we never give ourselves permission to go deeper and listen to what our bodies request from us. This leaves us in a perpetual state of problem solving based on a life that happens to us, not for us. But you can go deeper than the surface. It starts with your willingness to close your eyes and connect with the life you have been granted. To feel your 2 feet that have carried you through some of your darkest and most joyful days. Though tough transitions may seem like a life of stormy sea of pain and confusion, you can always come back to this place of stillness. If you feel lost in life, come back here often. Your breath will forever be your guide. The more you're able to breathe deeply into your body, the more you can send waves of gratitude throughout your life. In this place, you will see there is no reason to keep chasing something that was never yours. When I write in the morning, there's a deep awakening within that becomes my playground for life. I believe we all have this inside of us, but the chaos of the world doesn't give us permission to feel what we need to be free. That's why transitions can make you feel lost. But I can promise you this, the emotional satisfaction that comes from being aligned with the truth of who you are underneath the chaos of life is a lot less taxing than chasing something or someone that will keep running. This is my call to you. Dig deeper than the surface. Learn to face what confronts you with curiosity. Ask yourself the difficult questions. Be brave enough to claim the life you want. Seek the answers to the biggest questions that have nagged you since the beginning. Because the more you know yourself, the more you'll be able to live a life worth living. And choosing to be honest with yourself is one of the most important things you can ever do. Get out there and recognize where you stop paying attention to your intuition and your heart. As you begin to peel back the layers of what has been hiding beneath the surface, you'll start to see that your best work is about to begin. Out there, people are searching for something they will never see. I wonder how their hearts would feel if they took a few minutes to sit with themselves and breathe.
Did you just like what you heard? Then make sure to check out my book, Nowhere to Go, Navigating Tough Transitions. It's available everywhere books are sold. You can also now get it from me for $1 digitally at theartoftoughTransitions.com, where you have an option to upgrade to a 5-day masterclass to really help you break free of the limitations and expectations of the world so you can tap into your true potential. Because what are you waiting for? Life is this magnificent dance that invites you to be more than you could ever imagine, but only if you give yourself permission to be open to the many tunes in front of you right now. Thanks for listening. Share it, review it, and I'll see you around soon.